Hey, this is Tom Kim. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk about how to identify a predator. And based on my experience and observation, I'm going to show you 4 different types of predators. There's the aggressive type, the casual, authoritative, and savior. When we talk about aggressive type, those are the types that we see on the news. Those are the ones that we see that have harmed a child, whether it's abduction, rape, or even torture. The casual type, I usually call them the Jekyll and Hyde type because they can be approachable. They're not intimidating. Until you get to know them, then they become really intimidating. And the process is much faster than the savior type. The one after the casual type is called the authoritative type. Now, authoritative type, those are the authorities, the teachers, the coaches, mentors, pastors, any one of those, and they extend their authority or their boundaries, and they also feel a sense of entitlement when they do that. The other thing that I want to share with you are the savior. These are the type of predators that I've dealt with personally. I'm going to give you a couple of examples on how to identify a savior type. I had a friend of mine that was a professional basketball player, and he shared with me that he was sexually abused by a coach when he was in junior high. His mom knew him. She thought he was the greatest thing. He would talk about Jesus and use religion and faith, to gain the trust of the parents. He thought he was cool. He didn't think anything of it. All the students loved him. But here was the problem. Once they started having that one-on-one time, at that time he was 12 years old. So he started giving him weed, alcohol, showing him porn, things like that. And he's like, man, you're cool. I mean, a kid will not be able to decipher whether that was healthy or not, or what the healthy boundaries are. And that's why it is so important for parents to share that with their kids. Like, when an adult shows you porn and gives you alcohol and gives you weed to smoke, that is unhealthy. That's something that you need to look at, because their intent to give you those things is actually for bargaining. They want to bargain with you. They want to be able to say, okay, now that I gave you this, are you ready to step up to the big kid stage? So prove it to me. So a lot of times they may ask for favor of doing sexual favors or trading in for money, saying, can you handle this? I'm going to set you up with someone, and they'll pimp you out, basically. And so these are things to watch out for. Other times the savior can also be people that we trust, our own family members and things like that. Another example for a savior is also, single moms. When you're dating and you meet a guy and he says, I love kids, but when you start seeing him or her that says, I want to babysit your kid and they want to babysit your child more often than you ask for, that's a red flag also. They'll start buying expensive gifts. They'll even lure the parents. They'll say, I want to get your daughter, an expensive Samsung watch, and she's only 3. Does she really need a Samsung watch? Does she really need an iPhone? These are things that we need to start paying attention to. We need to start looking at and saying, okay, these are boundaries that they're crossing. And we'll go more in depth on that when the next time we come back with part 2. And one of the things I want to share with you, the most important thing that I'm going to constantly suggest, please talk to your kids. Talk to your kids, even visitors and people that you bring to your house. And one of the biggest things that I hear parents say to me, I trust them. I know them. They would never hurt my kid. I want to hear your kids say that, not you. Not to be offensive or anything, but that's important. Your kids need to feel the same way that you do. So that's an important thing. Like I said, we're going to come back with part 2 on how to identify the predators and their behavior types. So stay with me for next week, and we'll be back and share more. Thank you.